Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all keeping well. So this is my first episode here of my mobile gaming podcast. Haven't actually come up with a name just yet, so if you have got any suggestions, please let me know in the comment section down below. It's gonna be kind of start off as a weekly, 1 day a week podcast. Then obviously if it gets a little bit of interest, then maybe we might be doing a little bit more often. It's going to be kind of a loose structure, but it's generally just going to be me kind of chatting about my opinions. This first episode is going to be slightly different to kind of ones going forward, as this one's just kind of an intro. But I kind of just do want to talk on a few pressing matters and stuff first. But just to let you know that going forward, we're going to be talking about like games that I'm enjoying playing at the moment, like hidden gems that I've possibly found on you know, either cheap or just free that maybe not have the exposure that they deserve. Kind of, you know, bad games as well, that kind of thing as well. And then obviously just maybe just reviewing games that you guys have suggested that I play. You know, it's kind of a first time pick up at what my kind of you know, what I kind of expect of the game, and then kind of what I feel from playing the game for the first time, and just reviewing the game, you know, my very first kind of look at the game. Yeah, so it's going to be kind of loose and no kind of real structure, so but there's going to be kind of key points that I do kind of want to hit throughout the kind of each episode. Hopefully in the future as well, we might luckily, you know, get some people to come on with me as well, so it's not just me rambling for X amount of time, and we'll actually be able to hear from other people and hear their opinions on the gaming community, games in general, and that kind of thing as well. But yeah. So first of all, I kind of just want to talk about, well, really kind of just a generalised episode today, just the mobile gaming community and games as such. The first issue I kind of want to talk to you about, and this is completely interactive, guys, so I really kind of want to have your thoughts on this. I may possibly do this live in the future if you do think it's a good idea, as then I'm getting kind of like instant feedback rather than kind of reacting to it afterwards. But please either take notes as you're kind of listening, or just drop comments down as you kind of want to answer questions or opinions that you've got throughout it, and obviously I'll be sure to respond to as many of those, if not all of those, depending on, I usually only get about 3 comments on a video, so I'm sure I'll be able to answer all 3 of those. But yeah, so first of all, I kind of want to talk to about the controls in mobile gaming, and obviously get your guys' thoughts on this. So 9 times out of 10, I'm normally fairly happy with the control system that they've put in place. I do like the fact that a lot of developers these days are putting in the option that you can kind of customise your layout on the screen, which is really, really good. One thing that I do like, and I know it can be quite controversial sometimes, is I do like the fact that some developers do put the actual ability to use a controller in the game. I know there is ways around getting around my games when they don't actually already have that in place, but I do like the fact that when they've put a good control system that works, especially if the touchscreen can be a little bit off. Now, one kind of example I want to give of this is the Rebirth of Isaac. I think that game is, I've been wanting to play that game for quite some time. I've watched a lot of people streaming it, the PC version that is, and then obviously when it came to Android and iOS, I was like pretty, you know, I was pretty hyped about the fact that it was coming out and I could, you know, download it and stuff. But then the control system was absolutely awful, absolutely shockingly awful, which actually made the game pretty much unplayable. I mean, there might be an update now, which, you know, I uninstalled it, and I probably should have left it on, and then hopefully, you know, we'll receive the updated it in the control system. Might be better now. I might have a look into that again. If you guys are aware of it, please just let me know in the comment section. But yeah, it's just sometimes when they get the control system wrong, it can just lead to like just people not downloading the game, because especially with how many content creators there are out now that are doing content on said game. It's just that, you know, they're going to get found out. It's not like, you know, there's so many review channels out there now that somebody's going to do a review on your game as soon as it drops, and if people are looking for that and seeing that the control system's bad, it's just going to hinder your game. This kind of leads me on to the kind of next point that I kind of wanted to talk about as well, which is kind of, but obviously I want your guys' opinion on the control debacle as a whole. Like, are you happy with how it is at the moment, the fact that you can use controllers on some? Do you think it should just be purely touch-based, only used? Because obviously sometimes, especially on multiplayer games, there is then an unfair advantage of anyone using a controller over a touchscreen, because the reactions are going to be slightly quicker, and so on and so forth. So yeah, let me know your kind of opinions on the control systems used in mobile gaming. But as I mentioned, it kind of led me on to the fact the next one, which is actually beta testing. So I mean, some companies do this really well. Some companies you have to sign an NDA, so some people are a little bit unsure. But I think more companies should use beta testers from the general public, because one, they're getting free beta testing. They're not paying you, and you're testing their game for them. And so if you think about this, we'll use the Rebirth Virus again as an option. If that was beta tested by people in the domain, in the general public, before it actually kind of got, was produced and put on the Google Store, not too sure why their beta testers didn't pick it up. Obviously, it would have been tested there, and I understand that it would be tested, and they are probably just more than anything looking for bugs. But if you think about this, so the testers that you're paying, that's exactly what they're doing. That is their job. They are looking for bugs and just getting back in bugs. They're probably not really looking at the game as such. They're not playing the game as the game itself. They're just looking for trying things out and making sure they can't fall through the floor, through the wall. When you click on something, that the actual natural response that's been coded is coming through, and so on and so forth. They're not really looking at the game as a whole and the gameplay experience. If you get somebody like myself or anyone in the mobile gaming community in that beta testing thing, where there's got to be some ground rules, because some people do just take the absolute mix. So I do think there should be ground rules put in place. For example, obviously to be able to be eligible for the beta testing, you have to sign up to their forum, and then for example, when you've got the beta, that they can pull back the beta from you, or foreclose your testing rights if you're not actually providing feedback on the forum. Like, I don't know, like after three days or whatever, every third day, if you've not posted a bug report or any feedback on the game whatsoever, then obviously you can be removed, because you're not actually adding anything to the process. The whole point of obviously being a beta tester is the fact that you're giving feedback and posting about any bugs and anything like that. So I do think there should be some ground rules. But yeah, if you gave me the game, or anyone in the game, then they're going to be playing the game for the very first time. They haven't seen it. They don't know the development process. They don't know pretty much hardly anything about the game whatsoever. They may have read a little bit up online in it, but they're going to be playing this game for the very first time, and you're going to get their very honest opinion. They don't work for you, so they're not going to be sugarcoating anything. They're just going to give you an honest, an open, frank opinion of how the game plays, looks, feels, everything. So I really don't understand why they don't use it more often. I've been a beta tester for some. I mean, it's a win-win sometimes. I mean, when you sign an NDA, obviously there's no real win for the content creator, other than the fact. I mean, I don't mind either way. I mean, it's good that the fact you're getting kind of input in the game, and you feel like you're part of the development process, because you're giving feedback on the game, and hopefully the things that you've picked up on will be improved before release of the game. Obviously, when you don't sign an NDA, there is then the option that as a content creator possibly, or a blogger or anything like that at all, you're going to have first dibs on creating content for that. You think about it, if a brand new game that's getting pretty hyped up in the communities, being talked about a lot, and you've got access to that game, and you're allowed to create a blog or a video on it, a review video on it, or just a video in general on the actual game, then when people are searching for that game on YouTube or on the internet, or they're looking for write-ups, they're going to see yours, because you're the only person who's got it possibly at the time, or one of very few. So you're going to get a lot of potential views from it, and people kind of liking your content and that kind of thing. So sometimes it can be a win-win for both parties. They're getting a free tester who is providing valuable feedback for the game, and you're getting possibly money back from YouTube. Yeah, that kind of wraps up that bit. So we'll just now slide into the next segment. So I kind of just want to talk to you guys about pay-to-win games, really, and kind of get your opinion once more on kind of where you feel on the stance of games in general. So obviously there's kind of like there's various classes of games, but the two, I suppose, really is paid games and then paid to win games. Realistically, I'm going to use FIFA as an example in this one, because where I think that mobile gamers possibly get slightly better value for money. Because just let me finish here. So if you think about this, so FIFA on the console, if you're going to buy it brand new from release day, or even probably now, you're going to be paying £45 to £50. You've then got all of the microtransactions that you've got to buy. Well, haven't got to buy, but you can buy anyway. The mobile game is free, but then the mobile transactions are in there. Obviously, I will admit that the game is nowhere near what the console game is now. At one point, it was getting quite close. So in my opinion, before FIFA, this one, FIFA 17 mobile, I felt that the game was getting closer and closer and was probably only, 5 years behind. I felt the game was like, so for example, like FIFA 15, I felt it was probably kind of based on FIFA 10, as in graphic wise, but I felt the game as a whole, look and feel, was heading towards trying to mimic the console one. And then actually when FIFA 17 mobile came out, I was actually, first of all, I didn't like it. Then I kind of grew and got very addicted, and then I got bored because I don't know, what can you do on it. And I know that a lot of FIFA mobile content creators are struggling out there to kind of create content because the game doesn't really lend itself to really being a YouTube game, really, because it's quite hard. There's not a lot of game modes. I do apologise if you're hearing any background noise at all. Hopefully I can kind of get rid of anything in editing, but I'm not too sure how much it's picking up. But like, I'm not 100% sure now, looking back, if it was the right thing to do, because I don't know, it just felt like at the time it was quite a nice idea, a nice step away, but I don't know. If anyone does play FIFA Mobile, let me know your opinions on the honest opinions on the game in the comment section down below. But yeah, also just on going back to the kind of main subject we talked about, pay to win games. I'm not too sure. I mean, I understand it sometimes, but for me, it's just like, you know. So, for example, we'll take Star Wars Force Arena, a fairly new game. I've been playing it for quite a while now. It took me quite a while to learn. Again, I'm not really one of these kind of, I don't know what they're called, Moga game. I'm not really Moga. Is it Moga? I'm sure somebody will correct me. I'm not really too sure. I've never really played them before, so this is kind of my first look into the game. And yeah, to be fair, the first 2 videos I've put up, and I don't know, I'll do any more videos on it at all because they're not really getting any views at all. My last video got 23 views. I'm actually really enjoying the game. I'm still playing the game, and I've got a few videos recorded, but I'm not really too sure if I'll put them anymore. And I've got a lot better now. But I've naturally learned how to play the game, and my deck has grown because the fact that I've kind of learnt the game, and yeah, it just kind of feels like a natural progression. You're getting better at the games, and you're leveling up, and you're getting better cards and packs and so on and so forth. But then realistically, somebody could come across who's, you know, fairly well off or whatever, you know, or a bigger YouTuber who's getting a lot more income from YouTube, or even just being sponsored by the game, and they could just pump, I don't know, like £100 into the game, and just receive an absolute shed loads of packs, and then just have a better deck than me from day one. You know, I could have been playing the game for like a month, and just naturally grow and build a deck, and they could just download the game, pump £100 in, and then have a better, you know, then become #1 player, and, you know, be world #1 and all that kind of thing. And I know, again, they don't really get anything from that as such, and, you know, they've spent the money, so there is the argument that, yeah, well, they've spent the money in the game, so they rightfully should, you know. But I don't know, it's just slightly annoying. I don't know, but again, I don't know what the answer is to it. They can't really cap it as such or anything like that. I'm not really too sure what the answer is to it, and I'm probably moaning just for the sake of moaning here, but it just feels slightly like I've cheated sometimes, and you're probably thinking, Mike, you're just salty because you can't afford to do it. And it's okay, a little bit might be that, a little bit might be that, but it's not really all about that, though, is it? It's just annoying that if you're grinding out the game and playing it properly, then I don't know, people can just come in and just, yeah, get better than you just in seconds. So yeah, just your opinions on kind of what, are you happy with the divide at the moment? Is there certain games that you think you know you'd be happy to just pay a one-off fee and then not have any microtransactions? Some games I know just the only reason they are there for microtransactions. You know, that's kind of what keeps them going, and we'll probably make a lot more money out than having a one-off fee. But yeah, just let me know what your thoughts are on that one anyway. That probably, I've got a few more points that I wanted to touch, but I'm kind of, you know, mindful that I don't want to be dragging on for ages, especially as it's you just listening to me talk. So we'll kind of keep a few of those for the next episode. As I said, I'll kind of try and get some structure up. In the description down below, eventually, not probably in this one, I will be putting bullet points of each kind of topic that we talk about, and maybe a timestamp as well, so you guys can fast forward if you didn't want to go to one particular. If you was interested in coming onto the podcast, and if you've got any suggestions for names, please just leave any details in the comment section down below, or just go over to Twitter and follow me. It's at JustMikePlays, just as my YouTube name is, and hit me up on there. Anyway, guys, that is the end of this one. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please show your support by smashing that like button. I have been Just Mike Plays, and I will speak to you legends soon.